Okay, so we are Protist Group 6, and we made this with Gio Troy, Anna Grinberg, Michelle Huang, Ian Nguyen, and Ryan Santillano.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and the Protist group that we're going over are the Rhizarians. Now, the Rhizarians include three groups: the Radiolarians and the Forams, which are kind of grouped together, and the Cercozoans. A little thing about the Rhizarians is that most of them are non-photosynthetic amoebas, and not only that, but most of them also have pseudopods that are supported by phylos, reticulos, or microtubules. However, none of them are morphologically distinct. That means it can be pretty hard to tell them apart from one another, at least visually. All of them are bicons, however, and all of them have the ability to completely engulf their prey by using their skeletons when they're feeding. Another thing that distinguishes them from other protist groups is that they all have a mineral skeletal network that's consisted of either opal, celestite, or calcite. And as I said before, the three main groups are Radiolaria and Foraminifera. However, those two can be grouped together as Retaria. And then there's also the Cercozoa.
For the Radiolarian species, our group chose Actinomeleptoderma. Radiolaria are holoplankton that aren't motile and have structures that increase buoyancy, although they do have swarmers which are motile. They have a very wide variety of species. They're divided into two categories, Spumalaria and Nacellaria. They're just different in structure. The Nacellaria are more cone-like and the Spumalaria are more spherical. Actinomeleptoderma is a species of Spumalaria. They reproduce by asexual fission and possibly sexual reproduction via swarmers, but people are unsure about this. They have a very unique structure, including a cortical shell and extracapsular cytoplasm, which extends beyond the shell. It's used for feeding, and they feed similarly to Foraminifera, using the axopoda that extend beyond the shell.
For our Foraminifera species, we chose to study the Agarella advena. This species is yellow in color and more white towards the base and the tip, and they have an outer shell with 3 chambers per whorl, as you can see in the picture, as it tapers down to become more narrow. The shell is made of calcium carbonate, and this species has pseudopodia which help it move around and obtain food. It can also tolerate highly polluted waters and is most commonly found in oxygen-poor environments. Thus, it is a good indicator for distinguishing if an environment's sediment is polluted or not. This species can also reproduce asexually via multiple fission.
The Cercozoa species that I'll be introducing is the Gromia spherica, and it is a large spherical testate amoeba that ranges in size from 4.7 to 38 millimeters. It has an organic shell that is usually spherical in shape and honeycombed with pores. It also has filaments on the bottom where it is in contact with the seafloor. The Gromia spherica usually inhabits marine and freshwater environments, especially rock surfaces or seaweed holdfasts. It undergoes both asexual and sexual reproduction, and it is hypothesized to be important for carbon cycling.
So the interesting fact we found is that the Rhizaria supergroup, they're made up of marine protists, and they tend to settle on the sea floor. Their remains make up a large portion of the seafloor due to the fossilization of their shells. These protists contribute to the production of marine carbon sessilia, which can be as much as 1 in 19% of global oceanic biogenic sessilia production. And the link is a research paper that I found that is kind of interesting about the estimate of how much these protists contribute to. So yeah, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed our presentation and found our protists interesting.